Hey everyone, nothing too profound today, but just a good reminder. Hey, I'm Melissa with The Simple Life Wife, and I make videos on brain retraining and the goodness of God. So if you've been watching my videos, this thought here is going to be something I've said before, but it's something we need reminded of. It's something I needed reminded of this week, because it can just make such a big difference on how things go when you're feeling stuck, and like you can't get out of a trauma loop. So the thing is, well, here I mentioned the Curable app a few videos ago, and something that app mentioned was the calmer you are, the fewer pain signals your amygdala will send. And then something else. Just acknowledge that your fear is a passing visitor. So this reminded me that the more we try to, I wrote this down so I could remember my thought. The more we try to get out of the fear pain cycle, the stronger it gets. And when we just let it sit there with us, it loosens its grip. And I found myself kind of struggling the other day with a particular symptom blip thing that came up. You know, these things come back sometimes, and you've got to be able to work through it properly in order so that they come back less and less often, and eventually not at all. And I know I'm not supposed to fear the symptom, and so then I get stuck, and it's very tempting to get stuck in this, I got to get rid of the fear, but I'm afraid of the symptom. And so it's just kind of this, they call it a fear pain cycle. It doesn't have to be, it's a fear chronic illness cycle. So you fear, so your chronic symptom, whatever it is, flares up more, and then you fear and you're trying not to fear. And so it's a cycle that's very tempting to get into. But when you're calm is when all that actually goes down, and your pain or your chronic illness, whatever it is, starts to go down. And so the less that you fear the thing, the calmer it gets. So the more you calm your nervous system, this is like brain retraining 101, the more you calm your nervous system, like your symptoms go away a lot faster. That's just the way it is. So I needed to be reminded of that. I was thankful for the Curable app reminded me of that. Like, you don't try to get away from it. That's the thing, is when you try to get away from it, that's when you're not approaching it correctly. You let it, it's a passing visitor, and you let it be a passing visitor. You let it sit with you, whatever it is. Let's say it's pain. You let it be there. You don't try to get rid of it. Let's say it's fear because of the pain. You let it be there. You can even observe it as, what do they call it, like a bystander or whatever. It's sitting there with you, your fear, and you're not trying to get rid of it. And that's when you're calming yourself. And I envisioned it. I got this, my kids have this storybook with this. I envisioned this little guy sitting next to me. He's just a silly little guy right here. See his hat? So he's just that kind of made it more laughable in my mind. So I was literally envisioning this little silly guy with a weird hat sitting next to me as if he was my fear or the symptom, and I was just letting him sit there. I didn't want him to sit there with me, but I was letting him sit there with me, and I wasn't scared of him. And that was the big game changer in that moment, was I wasn't trying to get rid of the fear and the symptom, like, because I had been, and it was starting to get its grip in me, and it was starting to get stronger. And I read that, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm not supposed to fix it. I'm not supposed to try to get rid of it. Even the fear, you know, you can become afraid of fear, the fear of fear. Just let it be there. It's a cloud that's passing. You don't control clouds. You can't control them, but you can kind of watch it and just observe. Just move on with life and acknowledge that it's there. Or it's that little silly guy sitting next to you. He's annoying and you don't want him there, but he's a passing visitor, you know, an annoying passing visitor. You just let him be there till he's I was envisioning him, his little grip is on the seat next to you the more you're trying to get him to leave. But then as you just start ignoring him, you're like, okay, he can just sit there. He'll leave when he leaves. And he starts loosening his grip. He starts loosening his grip as you are like, I'm not going to try to make you leave. You can leave whenever you feel like leaving. But so I guess that little guy represented fear for me. And the symptom is like, okay, you know, what will be, will be. And it's passing. I know it's passing. I absolutely know it's passing because in the past, it has passed. P-A-S-S-E-D. So, yeah, it's not a profound thought. You know, I've made videos on this stuff before, and I'll link one below that I feel like was more profound than this one, but this is just a reminder for all of us. We don't have to fear the fear. We don't have to fear the symptoms because we can just let them be, and they will loosen their grip when we just sit with them. Let them be. See you next time, guys.